Due to an accident, I was hit by a car and broke both my legs. During my recovery, I temporarily handed over the company to my husband to manage, unbeknownst to me. He had secretly colluded with my best friend and took advantage of my absence to trick me into signing a company equity transfer agreement. What's worse, he also recruited my shareholders and gathered a group of people in the conference room. Everyone, please quiet down. From now on, I will take over Emily's role in managing the company. She has agreed to transfer her shares to me, so from now on, you can call me Adam. My husband held Anna's hand and demanded that everyone give a warm round of applause for the new chairman. The BFF shareholders cheered excitedly, while those who supported me looked at each other in disbelief, refusing to agree. At that moment, my bodyguard pushed open the meeting room door and wheeled me in on my wheelchair. You dare to conspire behind my back. The meeting room fell silent, with all eyes fixed on me at the door. Emily? The shareholders supporting me stood up excitedly. Calling me Emily, the BFF shareholders, however, looked down on us. There's only Adam here. How could there be an Emily? Can't you see clearly? Haha, maybe. You. What's wrong with us? We were just telling the truth. Everyone was discussing my situation heatedly. I looked at my husband David, who seemed uneasy and turned his face away, dared not look at me. Anna saw this and swayed her hips as she walked over, sitting down in his lap and grabbing his chin to kiss him. Darling, do you still care about her? Anyway, you're going to divorce her soon. After saying that, David didn't care about the stares from others or my feelings. He embraced Anna tightly, and the two kissed passionately. The shareholders arguing nearby saw this and awkwardly turned away, falling silent. How despicable. Emily always trusted you, yet you betrayed her. You'll definitely face karma someday. Anna smiled and walked away from David, giving a nod to someone nearby. The person immediately punched my female shareholder in the face. I don't know if I'll have bad luck, but I'm certain you'll be in trouble soon. A wave of unprecedented anger surged through me, and my hand on my thigh trembled with fury. One was my best friend, and the other was the man I loved most. I always thought I had been good to them, but it turns out they had already been together all along. I was so angry my eyes turned red, and I glared at David's face. Tell me, when did I sign the equity transfer agreement? At first he was a bit shy, stammering and hesitant to speak, until Anna reached out and gently touched his leg. Darling, just say it. Don't avoid it. If you behave well, I'll be very good in bed tonight. As soon as he finished speaking, David tightly embraced her. You said it yourself, of course. Immediately after, David stood up, turned to look at me, his eyes filled with a hint of sarcasm. That moment I will never forget. My heart felt as though it had been clenched in a vice, the pain making it hard to breathe. I noticed the kiss marks on Anna's neck. It seemed they had really gone all out last night, leaving so many traces behind. I gripped the wheelchair's armrests tightly, feeling my fingernails dig into the flesh. But the pain in my heart was even worse. David always acted so composed in front of me, never letting himself go. Every time we were together, he would blush and close his eyes. Yet just now, he dared to flirt with Anna in front of everyone. It seems he was just putting on a show in front of me all along. What a playboy. Anna swayed her hips seductively as she walked behind me, placing her hands on the back of the wheelchair and smiling broadly. David stepped in front of me, looking down at me and said, "Did you forget about the contract I asked you to sign a few days ago?" At the time, I had used buying a house as an excuse. You didn't even look up and signed it right away. As soon as he finished speaking, both of them laughed triumphantly. Only then did I remember that David had indeed asked me to sign a contract a few days ago. At the time, I had been very indulgent and trusting toward him, and with Anna urging me on, I never suspected they were working together to deceive me. I grabbed David's wrist and angrily asked, "David, how could you do this to me?" He angrily shook my hand off and took out a tissue to wipe the spot where I had touched him. After wiping it, he threw the tissue at me. "Why are you so stupid? You fell in love with me, but the one I love is Anna. She's been suffocating under your oppression, waiting for this day for so long." As soon as he finished speaking, Anna walked over, hugged David tightly, and said with emotion, "David, you've been so good to me. I swear I'll only love you from now on." You said it, yes. I swear. In the conference room, the shareholders who supported me were furious after hearing this. You obtained these shares through deception? That's disgusting. Exactly, isn't that illegal? Anna didn't get angry. She just smiled. So what? You can't do anything to me. In this world, the strong rule. and those with money have the power to speak. I obtained these shares this way. What's wrong with that? Now I have power and status, I can win people's hearts, while the weak can only accept reality. Anna's words reminded me of something from the past. When she first entered the workforce, she faced many difficulties in finding a job. After finally securing a high-paying position, it was secretly taken away from her. She was desperate, drank herself into a stupor, and went to confront the person face to face, only to be beaten and nearly met with an even worse fate. As a fellow villager, she had once helped me, so how could I not help her? So I stepped in to assist her and even let her work at my company. I remember she used to hate David, thinking he was pretentious and just a pretty-faced guy who didn't deserve me. Who would have thought they ended up together? I laughed sarcastically. No wonder Anna always spoke badly of David in front of me. She had already liked him all along. If I had known it would turn out this way, I shouldn't have helped her back then. Everyone present was left speechless by Anna's few words. She didn't seem to be wrong. Now that she has power and money in the company, even if she used some unscrupulous means, no one can do anything to her. Just look at the shareholders she's bought off. It's clear that people's hearts are easily swayed. Haha, why aren't you saying anything? I suggest you all make the right choice. Smart people know how to choose. It's best to distance yourselves from Emily and follow me. If you refuse, I'll deal with you without mercy. Anna's expression turned serious as she calmly warned the shareholders who had spoken on her behalf. Two of them began to feel uneasy, as they too couldn't stand up to her power. Emtikes Emily, I'm so sorry. If you want to leave, go ahead. I won't betray Emtikes Emily. Rachel slammed her hand on the table. Among all the shareholders, only her heart remained unwavering. She walked up to me and said, Emily, from the day I started supporting you, I decided I would never betray you. Hearing this, I was deeply moved, even in my current state. Rachel hadn't given up on me. Her loyalty was evident to me. Anna clapped her hands with a mocking smile. What a foolish and loyal friend. Even Emily has become like this. And you're still so loyal to her. But what good is loyalty? She can only give you food to eat or let you show off in the circle of the wealthy. After she finished speaking, everyone followed Anna in laughter. Emily, look at yourself now. You can only sit in a wheelchair, unable to do anything. You're no different from a waste. Anna pulled out a cigarette, put it in her mouth, and a considerate shareholder immediately lit it for her. She took a puff and blew the smoke toward my face. Her attitude became extremely arrogant, and the gentle, innocent image she once had was completely gone. She looked at me, her lips curled slightly upward. Looking very arrogant, Emily, do you know why your legs are broken? I stared at her coldly, keeping my mouth shut. Anna saw this, first flashing a sly smile, then suddenly kicked my wheelchair, sending me crashing to the ground. This drew laughter from many people. Look, Emily is really useless. She can't even fight back. She's crippled. She can barely stand up. David was standing beside me, frowning and kicking me again with a displeased expression. Stay away from me. I don't want to see you. Luckily, I don't feel anything for you anymore. Otherwise, I'd really hate you. Where is that lawyer? Why hasn't he brought the divorce agreement yet? This is so disappointing. What puzzled me was that my bodyguard stood there motionless. The next moment, she began to act, walking straight to Anna's back. At that moment, I understood everything. Even she had been bribed by David. Emily, I'm truly sorry. Adam offered 5 times the original price. He'll do anything for money. Of course, I chose the highest bidder. I closed my eyes helplessly, clenching my fists tightly. It seems Anna had been planning this for a long time. She started with the people around me, targeting each one in turn, making things more complicated step by step. Emily, you're truly helpless this time. I want you to experience the feeling of being betrayed by someone you trust. You, go beat her up. Anna pointed at my bodyguard. She wasn't just my bodyguard, she was also one of my closest friends. She didn't back down and walked straight toward me. Anna, you're really decisive? I must have been blind to help you when you were in trouble. HMPH, don't make yourself sound so noble. Her eyes suddenly turned red. And she kicked me. Every time we go back to your hometown, you're always so popular, while I can only be your sidekick. You know the villagers like you and look down on me. Yet you still brought me back. They mock me, saying I'll be your puppet for the rest of my life. Look, how could I not harbor resentment? She grabbed my collar, her face turning ugly. I never treated her like a dog. I brought her back to the village because her parents hadn't seen their daughter in years, and they weren't in good health. They were always worried about her. After learning this, I decided to take Anna back. Otherwise, her parents might not have made it through the year. I truly considered their feelings, but it ended up being wrong. Human hearts. Why is it so complicated? Seeing that I was just talking, Anna thought I was looking down on her. She pushed me away and pulled David over. Are you looking down on me? But in the end, I won you? Everything belongs to me now, including that man. You have no idea how obsessed he is with me. He thinks you're too mature. And I, finally, have become the one in control, taking everything you have. Hit her, aim for her legs. Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you. Because when that time comes, I'll drag you back like a dog on a leash, letting everyone see that you, Emily, have become my pet. David gave Anna a displeased look and gently hit her chest with his hand. Why are you saying that to me? Just tell her directly. I betrayed her. What can I do, baby? This is so much more satisfying. Just then, the bodyguard raised his foot to kick my wound. But Rachel rushed over to stop him. Stop it, Anna. Don't go too far. Seeing someone else helping me, I felt deeply moved. Anna began to threaten Rachel, saying that if she didn't stop, she'd make sure she couldn't find a job. Rachel sneered at her and spat on the ground. Who do you think you are? You can do whatever you want in this city. But that doesn't mean you can do it elsewhere. Get out of the way. Rachel tried to help me but was kicked away by Anna. Just then, David's lawyer arrived. David smiled hurriedly and quickly snatched the divorce agreement from the lawyer's hands. He was really in a hurry to divorce me, not even wanting to stay a few more seconds. I finally felt my heart turn to ashes. I closed my eyes, feeling that I had loved the wrong person and trusted the wrong person for the first half of my life. Emily, sign quickly. I've decided to leave with nothing. You don't have anything of value to give me anyway. I'll just consider this a good deed. I won't take anything. Keep the money to pay for your injuries. I looked at the divorce agreement in front of me and asked him one last time, David, are you really going to do this? Yes, I feel uncomfortable whenever I see you now. Since that's the case, I'll grant him his wish and hope he won't regret it later. After I signed, David quickly signed his name as well. After finishing this, Anna confidently stepped on my hand with her foot. I didn't finish earlier. Do you know why your leg was broken? It was your so-called bodyguard who broke your leg at my orders. Ha ha ha, you're so pitiful, you know nothing and have always been deceived. Anna, you'll meet a bad end. Rachel was being held down on the ground, struggling desperately. But Anna ignored her, turned to hug David, and prepared to order us out. Who knew that the next second, ha ha ha? I couldn't help but laugh out loud, in front of everyone. I slowly stood up, making sure to brush the dust off my feet. David and Anna were both stunned, their eyes wide open, and the others were a bit flustered. Emily, are you hurt? I didn't answer, ignoring them and walking toward my seat, holding my head high. I didn't look like a disabled person at all. I pulled out the chair and sat down elegantly. Rachel excitedly broke free and walked up to me. Emily, are your feet okay? I made a shushing gesture. Don't say anything yet, sit down and watch the show. Rachel was a bit confused, but obeyed my instructions, sitting down beside me with a hint of excitement. The seat happened to be where Anna had been sitting earlier. Can you two stand up? Why are you sitting in my seat? Anna also furrowed her brows. We ignored her and continued with our own business. David walked over with a puzzled expression, glancing at me and then at Anna. The two of them stared at each other in the air, looking very puzzled. This can't be possible. I clearly saw the bodyguard hit her leg. How could she be standing there unharmed? As soon as those words were spoken, everyone panicked. Could Emily have been faking it all along and wasn't injured at all? Will she seek revenge on us? Oh my God. What should we do? Everyone was so nervous they couldn't sit still, their bodies trembling uncontrollably. David walked up to the bodyguard, intending to raise his hand to hit her. But the bodyguard dodged him effortlessly. You dare to dodge, I ask you? What's going on? To his surprise, the bodyguard gave a cold smile, kicked him to the ground with a single blow, then walked up behind me in front of everyone. Emily, I've completed the task you assigned me. What? Everyone froze. Their eyes fixed on us. A sense of unease filled their hearts, and even their breathing became cautious. David looked around in panic, seemingly still unsure of what was happening. Anna clenched her fists in anger, her mind filled with confusion. The bodyguard had clearly been bribed by them. Why had he suddenly turned against them? I couldn't help but laugh. After acting with them for so long, my body was indeed a bit tired. I took out a cigarette, put it in my mouth, and turned the lighter to light it. Smoke swirled around me as I exhaled. Through the smoke, I looked at the man and woman in front of me. Do you think you can buy anything with money? But they've always been on my side. When you hired the bodyguard and tried to bribe her, she immediately told me everything. I leaned back in my chair, narrowed my eyes, and smiled as I continued. At first, I really couldn't believe it. I had someone secretly investigate, and when I saw you and my man lying in my bed, I believed it. Then I would follow your plan. But the one in control was still me. After saying this, I put away my smile, and confidence and a powerful aura filled the entire conference room. Everyone fell silent, holding their breath, their bodies trembling slightly. Anna appeared calm on the surface, but inside she was already uneasy and felt deeply resentful. She had waited so long for this outcome. David smiled, seeming unconcerned. Anna, don't be afraid. We have her signed statement, even if she's not injured. The company is still on our side, right? David's words instantly dispelled the tension in everyone's hearts, right? How could I have forgotten that sigh? Then we don't have to worry at all. Everyone sat up straight. Thank you for reminding me, dear. When we get home, I'll make sure you feel extra happy. How annoying. Everyone heard that. So what if they did? Ha ha. After saying that, Anna kissed David again in front of everyone. If there was a bed here, they would definitely start fighting. Everyone was immersed in the exciting atmosphere, not forgetting to mock me. What a loser. What good is having long legs? She's so pretentious, it's so annoying. Rachel wanted to argue back, but seeing me sitting there unconcerned, elegantly crossing my legs with a cold look in my eyes, smoking a cigarette, she calmed down and decided not to act for now. After the couple finished kissing, Anna wrapped her arm around David and walked over to me. Emily, are you comfortable sitting here? What a shame. It's no longer yours. Hearing this, I coldly lifted my head and stared at them. After flicking the smoke away, he extinguished the cigarette butt in the ashtray. You're so confident that this company is definitely yours. Of course it's ours. You signed the transfer agreement yourself. They laughed and I laughed along with them. They thought I was foolish and I found them rather amusing. Anna, please bring out that contract again and take a closer look. Make sure you read it carefully. Anna saw my mysterious smile and froze instantly. She had been with me for so long and knew exactly what that smile meant. Hurry up and call her assistant to bring the contract over immediately. After instructing the assistant, her back began to sweat, and a wave of unease washed over her. My calmness made her even more anxious. I never fight a battle I'm not sure I can win, and she understood my methods well. Soon after, the assistant brought the contract, and Anna pushed David aside, picking up the contract and examining it carefully. After a few seconds, her face turned pale, almost devoid of color. How could this be possible? David was startled by her reaction, walked over, and took the contract from Anna's confused hands to take a look. Soon, their expressions were like a performance. Utterly dramatic. This can't be right. I clearly handed you the equity transfer agreement. How did it become a certificate of equity relinquishment? Oh. Who can guarantee that it wasn't switched when it was delivered? What? David exclaimed, rushing over to me. You knew I gave you the equity transfer agreement to sign? I looked at David with a disbelieving expression. I can't believe I ever fell for someone like him. Can you answer me? Seeing my confused expression, David, feeling triumphant, couldn't resist raising his hand to vent his frustration, but he was quickly stopped by my bodyguard, who punched him to the ground. David cried out in pain, falling at my feet. He looked up at me, his face filled with disbelief. Since I'd known him, I'd always treated him with kindness, unable to even scold him harshly. But now, I'd let my bodyguard hit him. David refused to accept this reality. Emily, you dare to hit me. The people around us didn't react to David's crying and anger. Instead, Anna walked over and looked at me coldly. Get up. At this point, don't let her see you like this. Anna didn't even turn her head, just coldly told me to stand up. The people around us also realized that they had been caught off guard by my counterattack. One by one, their faces turned pale, their mouths wide open. But in their hearts, they were thinking, it's over. It turned out that the controlling stake in the company was still in my hands. It had never been transferred. It was Adam who had voluntarily relinquished his shares. They've betrayed me. What should I do now? Rachel didn't miss a single panicked expression on their faces. She clapped her hands on the table and laughed. Ha ha ha, come on. Let's talk about this. You were all so passionate just now. Why aren't you saying anything now? Did you run into some trouble? Why can't you speak? Rachel used the same mocking tone they had used to ridicule her earlier, now turning it back on them. She would never forget how they had treated us when we were in trouble. A bunch of opportunists, truly despicable. At that moment, the shareholders who had betrayed me dared not speak, only whispering among themselves about what to do next. I leaned back in my chair, lazily tilting my head back and tugged at my collar. I have plenty of money. I don't care if I kick all of you out. But in the future, no company will want to take you in, because there are many partners out there begging to invest in this company. How could I lose to you? I gave a cold smile, looking at this group of people with their fickle attitudes. As soon as the words left my mouth, everyone's expressions changed, clearly knowing that I would take revenge and wouldn't let them off so easily. Suddenly, one after another, they knelt down and begged me, "Emtikes Emily, we know we were wrong." That's right, it was Anna, that girl, who threatened us, saying that if we didn't help her, she'd find someone to deal with us. As soon as those words reached Anna's ears, she immediately flew into a rage, her face contorted with anger. Without saying a word, she charged forward and struck the shareholders viciously. I'm not the kind of person who takes the blame for everything, even though I'm not doing well right now. It was clearly you people who came to me, wanting to team up against Emily. The conference room immediately turned chaotic, but I remained calmly seated in my chair, enjoying the commotion of the argument. The shareholders began to resist, working together to pin Anna to the ground. They beat her with fists and feet, while David pleaded with me, "Emily, make them stop. Anna is your best friend." I slapped David across the face and then took out a piece of paper to gently wipe the spot where he had been hit. David froze, looking up at me in confusion, no longer seeing any love in my eyes. "Emily, do you not love me anymore?" "Love? How do you deserve it?" Anna was already on the brink of collapse, lying at my feet like a lifeless dog. She muttered resentfully, "Why do you always have it better than me?" I smiled gently and placed my foot on her body. Successful people never covet what they don't work for. They have endured countless hardships to achieve their success today, but you've always been behind the scenes, filled with twisted jealousy, always thinking about taking what belongs to others and trying to succeed through dishonest means. How could that ever work? Anna froze for a moment, then gave up struggling and silently rested her head on the ground, revealing a painful yet silent smile. I turned to David and said, "Do you know why I was willing to lower myself to play this game? Because I was waiting for you, to see if you could realize your mistakes and change your mind. But you didn't, so I had to end our relationship, accompany you to the end, and let you choose to give up my wealth, to see what the outcome would be. You're so confident, thinking I'm not worth it. Even if we divorce, you insist on leaving yourself with nothing. You've really blocked all the paths." This statement immediately struck at David's thoughts about property division after divorce. His body swayed slightly, almost losing his balance. He had thought himself too clever, only to end up hurting himself. I've seen so much in my life, how could I fall into their little tricks? "Will you call the police to arrest us?" After a moment, David finally spoke a few words. "I've never regretted betraying you because I love her." I smiled and raised my eyebrows. Surprised he'd say that. "I won't let you go. Because I want to see," as Anna said, "when you lose your money and status and are forced by life, can you still talk about love? Do you still have a chance to enter high society? You go first." After I let them go, Rachel looked a bit unhappy. "Don't rush. The best is yet to come. Without me, who would dare to use Anna? David is like someone who fell from the sky into a mud pit." I said this and stood up. "Tell everyone that I'm going to completely reform the company and replace all these fickle people. Not leaving a single one behind. Emily, we've truly realized our mistakes. Emily, please spare us this time." I didn't listen to anyone else and walked out. The bodyguards pushed away those who were clinging to me. This troublesome matter was finally over. A month later, I went to a bar to discuss business. Coincidentally, the bar manager walked in with a few handsome young men. I looked up and saw that it was David, whom I hadn't seen in ages. He was staring at me, standing there like a status, his eyes darting around, dared not look me in the eye. Sure enough, after leaving me, he hadn't been doing well at all. He'd ended up working as a male model at a bar. What about Anna? Didn't she say she liked him a lot? Could she really let go of him? There was a female client who didn't know the situation. As soon as she saw David, she thought he was handsome. The manager understood and pushed David over to sit next to the client. "Behave yourself, you might get a generous reward." David sat there uncomfortably, feeling awkward, occasionally glancing up at me. I wisely stood up, not wanting to interfere with his work. As I was about to leave, he finally couldn't resist standing up and grabbing my hand. Emily, don't go. David's eyes welled up with tears, looking very wronged. If it were before, I would have hugged him and helped him get revenge. But this time, I pushed his hand away with disdain. Please behave yourself. After all, there should be a certain distance between men and women. No, David grabbed my hand again and rushed toward me. Everyone was stunned by the sudden scene, looking at each other. Emily, what's your relationship with him? Oh my, we dared to have feelings for your boyfriend. I quickly interrupted and pushed David, who was still clinging to me, away. He's my ex-husband. You should all have heard about our past. The affair at the company was all over the news. Everyone knows about it, right? The clients finally understood and burst into laughter. Interesting, David has such a beautiful, elegant, and wealthy woman like Emily, yet he chose someone with no abilities. That must mean they truly love each other, true love, who would push their partner into modeling. Those hurtful words reached David's ears, and he couldn't help but walk over, kneel before me, and say, "Wife, I know I was wrong. Can I take back the words I said before?" I couldn't help but lower my head, looking at the pitiful David, and shook my head. Back then, letting them go was to make them realize their situation and their capabilities. But after leaving, they faced many difficulties and struggled to find work. Anna, who had already harbored resentment, finally couldn't take it anymore and vented all her frustration on David, not only saying hurtful things, but also hitting him and even forcing him to sell things. David initially refused, but eventually succumbed to Anna's cold treatment. After being forced to do such things, he finally realized that the love he once longed for had pushed him into an abyss with no bottom. David finally realized his mistake. When we were together, life was carefree and I could have anything I wanted, but now even surviving has become difficult. Emily, I know I was wrong. Can you give me another chance? I miss you so much and want to go home. But saying this now is pointless. You even paid my bodyguard to hit me with a car, injuring my leg. If it weren't for her loyalty to me, I might have fallen into their trap and I would be the one suffering today. What right does he have to regret it? David, everyone must take responsibility for their own mistakes. I can't help you because I'll never forget the uncomfortable look you gave me. At that moment, Anna arrived. She had been drinking and wasn't wearing designer clothes anymore. Her outfit looked cheap and wrinkled. As soon as she saw me, she started mocking me. You useless person, are you trying to get Emily to help you? Ha ha ha, how naive of you. No one can help you because you're my husband now. After saying that, she slapped David hard and then looked at me. Emily, seeing us like this, do you feel satisfied? A petty mind like yours will never make us bow down to you. I didn't say anything, just moved further away from them. Seeing my displeasure, Anna's expression grew even more furious. Emily, she raised her fist to charge at me, but my men immediately stopped her. I smiled faintly, shook my head slightly in disappointment, and didn't look her way again, but I hoped she would have some ambition. Not rely on men, but rely on herself, so I could look at her one more time. Unable to vent her emotions here, Anna took her anger out on David. Don't think Emily will help you again, or like someone as worthless as you. Come with me, I won't go. David knew that if he followed Anna, he would face dire consequences. He suddenly began struggling violently. Then he grabbed the knife on the table and stabbed it into Anna's chest without hesitation. Ha ha, I finally get to end you. Sorry, I can't grant that request. More and more blood gushed out and Anna lost her strength, collapsing to the ground. The manager had already called the police. Before the police arrived, the bar's security guards rushed in and restrained David to prevent him from disrupting the bar's business. As David was being taken away, he turned and looked at me, tears blurring his eyes. Emily, I'm so sorry. If only time could turn back, I would have stayed with you, built a family, and raised children together. I looked at him with a mix of emotions. This time, his regret was genuine. What a tragic mistake. I've accepted your apology. Hearing this, David sighed in relief, a smile spreading across his face. Suddenly, he violently broke free from his restraints and slammed into the wall. I screamed and tried to grab him, but it was too late. I could only watch helplessly as he fell to the ground. In my next life, I will be by your side. Clean and pure. After saying those words, David closed his eyes completely. The police arrived quickly and began to handle the scene. I closed my eyes in peace. It was finally over. I hope that in your next life, you will find a way to return.